Welcome to Well-Rounded. I'm your host, Tiffany Parker. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back, everybody. Christmas is approaching, and I am just so ready to be done with so many things. So today's episode is going to be short and sweet. I just want to kind of give a big thank you to all my listeners. Obviously we know it's the season of the Spotify Wrapped, which you either love it or you hate it or you tolerate it. But I just wanted to share, I don't listen to Spotify. I'm an Apple Music girly all the way, but I obviously post a podcast to both Apple and Spotify, so I have a little bit of a Spotify Wrapped. I feel like I'm included. So I'm just going to share some of these analytics and just say a big thank you to everybody. So welcome to Well-Rounded was my most streamed episode of all of them. I also got a lot of views though on the episode I did with the PhD BYU professor. She gave extra credit to her students to listen to it, so that was really fun. And I think that helped a lot because across YouTube and Spotify and Apple, that episode also has a lot of listens. I think Welcome to Well-Rounded had the most engaged listeners and stuff like that, so that's kind of fun. My listeners' ages, so 10% of my audience is 18 to 24. 32% of my audience is 25 to 29, which is interesting because I'm in that age range. 40% is 30 to 34 age. 8% is ages 35 to 44. 5% is 45 to 54. And then 5% is 55 plus. Hello, that is where my parents are. So anyways, that's kind of fun, super helpful to know, and it kind of makes sense. I've looked at this before, but not like laid out all across all the ages. So I like that I can kind of see that, and it makes sense why certain episodes have done really well and some have not done really well. So it's very interesting. Let's see, I was streamed in 3 countries, which is kind of fun, with the US as my top country, obviously. Go Team USA. Then the other 2 countries, there were kind of a list of countries on Spotify, but I don't know how accurate that is. The other 2 countries that actually had a reliable percentage were Russia and the UK. So, interesting. And then according to my Wrapped for Creators, I am a top 10 show for 29 people, which I didn't know that. I'm not sure if that's Spotify or across all platforms, but I am grateful for that. A top 5 show for 21 of those people, and a number 1 show for 4 people. So you 4 people, I love you, you're the best. And yeah, so that's kind of fun. Let's see, my creator personality is the storyteller. So that's kind of fun because I love theater, so I love storytelling, and my podcast rating is 5 stars so far. So all very exciting. I'm super grateful. I started this podcast because I could and I wanted to, and I had all the technology, I had all the knowledge, I know, like, at least the knowledge of how to work the equipment and stuff like that. I created my own little theme music stuff, which I still love it. I'm still in love with it, and I created it, so I don't feel like I need to change it at all, because there's nothing, other people have changed their music and stuff before because it was like associated with something bad or whatever, and mine came from my brain and what I thought sounded like what I wanted the vibe of the podcast to be. So I love that, and I'm just so grateful for those of you who tell me you listen, or those who are like, oh, I'm behind, but I'm catching up. I love it. Like I said, this is for fun. If it makes money, I would not be mad about it. Obviously, I think I'm gonna, in the new year, I think I'm gonna look into how to do a little bit better and do a little bit more, and I'm going to try to be more on top of guests and getting guests on. It is, again, just kind of a logistical issue, and and because I'm kind of small time right now, I'm trying to do people I know, people who have interesting careers, things like that and stuff, and so it's a little bit tricky. So the more that people listen and like and subscribe and rate and review and stuff, the more prestigious guests I can have on. And I think that would be really fun. I originally started inspiring this podcast around the bad broadcast, and then quickly realized that my audience and her audience are not the same. And that's totally okay. I love her podcast though. It's so much fun. And I'm trying to muster up the courage to see if she'd be willing to be a guest. But then as I've kind of figured out what my niche, what I'm going for, what I want people to feel or experience or whatever, I've learned that especially based on looking at these years of like my demographic and stuff, I have realized that I need to kind of structure it a little bit differently. And so now my inspiration is the podcast, A Diary of a CEO. I love that podcast, and they have guests on all the time. Like pretty much every episode is a guest episode. So, and I think that because he's a CEO and he's successful, he has like a whole team of people who can just whip this stuff out, and his like teaser trailer videos for each episode is so good. It's so good. It's like really overwhelming and makes my videos look like I'm doing it all myself, which I am. So, but yeah, I'm so grateful to everybody who has commented, who has liked and subscribed. I will say though, according to, that's what I was looking up, Apple creators, 60% of my listeners are not following my podcast. I think on Apple, it's you follow the podcast, and then I think on Spotify, you subscribe. It's all the same thing. So 60% of my listeners are not following this podcast. So if you would be so kind as to follow it, and that would be super helpful. And like I said, the more engagement I get on it, the better guests I can have on, and people will actually want to be on it and things like that. Right now I'm texting a handful of people, and I think the Christmas season is just kind of hard, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm just really grateful everyone's here. It's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work and a lot of learning about myself and learning about my audience and a lot of things like that. But I just am so grateful for everyone who does listen, who does support, and who talks to me about it later. I love hearing your thoughts, and if you have any recommendations for what you would like me to talk about, I would love it if you'd comment on the podcast. Don't just text me. Comment on the podcast, because then it'll also help the podcast, as well as I read all of them. So it'll also help me get some following, as well as give me ideas. So or if there's someone that you want to have on or that you would like to hear from as well, I have kind of started reaching out to some bigger names, and so just because I'm trying to be courageous, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I'm super grateful, and that's all I really have to say. So if you are not subscribed or following the podcast, please do so. It does help a lot. Like I said, I would love to have multiple streams of income. I think if you were in my place, you would also like to have multiple streams of income. And then if this becomes an income stream, then the videos I make can be better. The content I put on social media can be better. Everything can just be better. And then it's like a beautiful cycle, you know, and I'm trying to provide value, and I'm trying to talk about things that I think are interesting to someone at least. So anyways, so if you could help a sister out, that would be awesome. Like I said, over the break, I'm gonna kind of do some more research and kind of try to take advantage of this creator platform that Spotify has, and see if that kind of helps. And I feel like there are some things that I could streamline a little bit better. So just thanks for being on this learning curve journey with me. It has been a learning curve and it has been a journey. Like I said, I had all the equipment and stuff, and I had all of the like knowledge on the tech side of things, but it's the like marketing and content creating side of things that I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So anyways, super grateful for all of you. And like I said, this is going to be a nice, short and sweet one. So share it with your friends. Please follow the podcast. 60% of you fools, straight to jail. Please like and subscribe and follow, rate, review, all of those things. It's kind of become a little bit of a script to say all that now. But anyways, it's been a year. It has been a year, and it's been a little bit of a rough year in some points, and then sometimes have been really awesome. So anyways, love you all. I hope you have a wonderful, safe Christmas. I'm gonna try and get some guests on here, but the holiday season is just kind of a little bit rough for everybody because it's just busy, and some of the people I texted have children, and so the children have to have a magical Christmas, which is obviously the most important thing. So anyways, love you all. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Remember to tune in every Wednesday for Well-Rounded Wednesday, and please leave a rating and a review.